philosophy of the program is just to enhance social skills through art. That's really what the purpose of it is and the mission is. When you think of all of the different components of art expression, the most important component is the art therapist.
Susie is an amazing art therapist. She can have 14 kids doing 14 different activities and manage them all without any difficulty.
Is it something that's inherently part of you to do this kind of work?
I'm not sure. I mean, I have a background in clinical art therapy, but I went to kindergarten twice, and I also, as a kid, wanted to have this van that just drove around with Play-Doh and paint and stopped and did art with kids. And just that sort of being a natural way for kids to talk in a language that's uniquely theirs. And I think that tends to get lost around 11 or 12. A lot of kids stop or become too critical of their art or get interested in sports or other things. So how you keep that fed, because I think art is a natural language for children, especially when they're still at this age. So.
She just walks them through. She'll bring different materials, different activities, different lessons. Sometimes it's just a pile of stuff. And she'll ask them to introduce themselves by choosing one of those pieces. Like the first week there were dolls and birds and seashells, different pieces, and they weren't to introduce themselves using their name, they were to introduce themselves using one of those pieces. And she walks them through that process of thinking differently.
Ariana?
My name is Ariana, and my color today was light blue.
Light blue? Oh, so different blues feel different.
Yes, and she has a story most often to read to them and gets them thinking about their feelings for that day. And that's what I particularly like about art expression, is that boys and girls are encouraged to talk about their day and their feelings in a very different way than a classroom.
If you want to just take a deep breath, and if you're comfortable closing your eyes, sometimes that helps me to picture things. Just see where your mind goes. You don't have to concentrate hardly in class. Your mind wanders somewhere else, that's fine. Another part of your mind can listen to part of the story. Once upon a time, there was a girl with many wondrous ideas. In the past, she tried to do too many things, but now she had whittled down her ideas and was determined to focus on improving one part of her life. One of the most powerful sessions we had last time was we did a picture of a very good and a very bad day. And the bad day pictures, which were just abstract, they took such delight in talking about and destroying, putting through the paper shredder and doing things and were just like, and very aggressive with pastel, just letting all that out, that I can make this good one, but that I'm allowed to talk about the icky stuff too, I think was really a release for them. And I was surprised just by how much they talked and expressed from these, because I thought, you know, that's tapping into some more intimate stuff, but they really seemed to relish the opportunity to talk about both and have that balance of, you know, I have both good and bad going on in my life and in my day.
Well, today was just normal. I'm happy, I'm sad, I can be angry.
This was our 4th week, I believe. Every week she started the lesson differently. One week she brought different artwork and asked the children to relate their day to that piece of artwork.
But you know how last week we picked a color that fit kind of how we were feeling today? This week, you don't have to make art to use it. Sometimes, you know, what song you like or what movie you like or other artists' work. You can say, well, there's something about that that I seem to connect to. So today, how about if you tell me which one of these sort of, for some reason, you're kind of drawn to today, that fits today for you. Or maybe none of them. Which one?
We're doing not to say that none of them follow my day.
So none of these really fit, huh?
Because I had a typical day. I wasn't going to pick this out. Nothing really big happened.
Well, I'm glad you can say that none of these really capture your day. Is there one of these you really don't like?
Yes.
Like Like if there was one you didn't want hanging on the wall of your room, which one would it be?
I have to say all of us?
All of us. You don't want any of these in your room. Okay.
I wouldn't
How about you?
This week with the string, that was amazing to watch how the kids, they didn't know what they were doing, and watching them play with the string until everyone had a piece, and then she talked to them about use this string to describe your day.
It stands for this morning I woke up like happy, but then I got tired and now I'm just tired and I went downhill.
She had 14 different shapes, 14 different knots, 14 different clumps of string describing their day, and I think every child used a different word to describe their string and to describe their day. I'm thinking of the one in particular that tied his in several different knots.
How about you?
Mine kind of had some bumps in it.
Oh, looks like quite a few there.
For that particular child, that was hugely insightful.
Some of those children won't raise their hand in class if they're 110% sure of an answer, but in art expression, they cannot wait to share what's on their mind. And that's what's so fascinating about it.
Well, it's neat that they kind of have their own space, but yet also connect to each other. Usually, occasionally, we'll do some group art making where we're working on a big piece together, be it a mural or building a tower or something. But there's times too where they really prefer, I want my own, you know, and want to be able to have that separate and also have that to keep, to take with me.
Do you look to kind of encourage or?
I'll try and notice if somebody seems to need, or sometimes just be a supportive presence, you know, to not interfere with their process if they don't need it, but just acknowledge what they're working on and what's happening. Most of these kids work really independently.
They come here not knowing what to expect, I presume, unless there's something that precedes your arrival from years
Well,
past.
some of them have been involved in art expressions before, but I think the majority of this group is new to it. I'm not sure, because they are kind of self-directed. I almost sort of feel like you put it out and the kids feed themselves, and it's neat to see them be able to go different directions with it rather than we are all doing this, or, you know, the girl that would rather see what happens when I drop that and water, to allow her the opportunity to do that instead of saying you need to be over here where we are. Or this particular project was going to be an opening, is turning into a 3-week project, which I didn't anticipate. But, you know, in this context, we have the space to allow that. If we're really enjoying this, why can't we continue to enjoy it more and do more with it? So there's a lot of freedom that's really nice with, I think, the Art Expressions group.
Out of the box.
Pardon me?
Out of the box.
What's that mean, Abby?
That means like outside of that little common little spot where you have to like do one thing or not do another thing. When you're outside the box, you can actually show what you can do, and it's like, what talents do you have? What can you do? Show me.
She seems to give you lots of ideas.
It's inspiring.
It is.
It's fascinating to just watch what they do. I mean, I often think they go places I couldn't begin to plan. You know, I'll have a starting point, but where they take it is artistically fascinating. So.
You're a 4th grader, Rachel. Will you share your experiences with art expression with your classmates?
Mm-hmm.
What will you tell them?
I'll probably tell them that it's really fun and you just don't care what any other people are doing. You just look at your art and do what you want to do, and when you share your art, you just tell them how you feel about it.
I recall a couple of the kids saying this is the only place we're not criticized, that there's not a right way, and that there's such a pressure off and I don't have to do it right or get an A, or that I think is something they really need.
I think it's fun because you can share your artwork with them. But I also think it's fun because in art class you get graded, but in art expression you don't.
I told Nisha he gets the prize for the heaviest one. It looks like it's heavy.
Can I see? Oh yeah.
What do you want to tell us about your box?
Clayish.
plate. Of course. It almost seems to defy gravity that those things are able to hang on there without falling.
It reminds me of the ocean. There's a lot of blue in it.
It reminds me of Nisha's ordinariness.
Oh, you'll see which one. Well, no, not ordinary. Like randomness. Yes.
Randomness.
It reminds me of space.
Kind of amazes me how it all holds together. Because it does seem almost like the dishes should be falling off the shelf and things flying through space, and yet it's all held together. I think that part's kind of neat.
We see a different side of the kids after school. And I think that's the ease of working with an amazing art therapist, is we as faculty members can sit and talk with the kids and learn more about their family or what they like to do or what they enjoy doing outside of school or who their friends are. Just get a totally different perspective on who they are as individuals, as opposed to, all right, it's time to teach math, it's time to teach writing, it's time to teach reading, and you're moving throughout your day, which can be pretty stressful for some kids. At Art Expression, they can just be themselves, they can relax.
What do you like most about this experience?
I like everything about it, but what I like a lot is you're able to express yourself.
Is there any particular part of yours, Rachel, that is a symbol for anything special to you?
Probably all the shells, because I am insane, I have to say, about the ocean.
Is that one of your very favorite things?
Yeah.
What did you learn about other kids just by looking at the boxes or listening to them share their boxes?
Well, their boxes showed like a different side of them, like that you, if you didn't know them, you would never notice before.